Hi readers, me here, and I wanted to get this review recorded before I got too deep into my current read and things started to fade. First of all, 5 stars for Practical Magic. This was a reread for me. My mother first bought me a copy of this in 1998, I guess, for my 28th birthday, and my 20-something reader's heart was a lot more romantic and a lot less experienced than my 50-something reader's heart. So things hit differently the second time around. As you can see, I've got fewer tabs on this copy than I have on this copy. And you know what? That's just down to experiences. You know, in 1998, I was in the Army and had gone out into the world, but I was only just getting out. Now, 25 years later, I've been out in the world, I've experienced loss, and just really made a lot of these things hit home for me. Now, one thing I'll say is, something that I was trying to articulate about the Lana Harper series is actually articulated in Alice Hoffman's intro in this copy of Practical Magic. And it says, many of us know what it's like to try to escape a family legacy of one sort or another, only to discover that in the long run we carry our heritage with us, no matter how far we might run. And that is like a common theme in both of the Lana Harper books that I read, is trying to escape who you are or be who you are, even though it might let your family down. So I'm glad that I read this introduction because it articulates, like I said, better than I could. Also in the introduction, now we're just back to Practical Magic. Alice writes, witches are outsiders, and those among us who have been bullied and ostracized can relate to their plight. Part of the fascination with witches is that they are the only female mythic figures with power. These are women who don't need to be rescued by a prince or a king, but instead can save themselves, sometimes with the help of a sister. They are wise and fearless women of courage. And I'll add here, and thus are feared. She says that practical magic is the mythical reconfiguration of the journey most women must make, whether they are sisters, mothers, daughters, or aunts. And I think, again, just to kind of go back to what I originally said, that is why the second reading of this hit me so differently, because I'm much farther in my journey than I was at 28 when I first read this. And I'm not necessarily jaded, but I've got a lot more experience that I did not have at the time. This is the story, if you have not read it, about Jillian and Sally and their efforts to run away from their family. And they have to realize in the end they come back home, and family is where they belong. And it's that theme of family and sisterhood, that even the most simplest of these scenes in this book made me just want to burst out into sobs. And I did in my head, I just didn't let it out because I didn't want people to hear me crying on my back porch. You know, we think about love, we often think about romantic love, but not as often familial love, to include found family. And there's a lot of love, familial love, in this book. And there's a lot of, gosh, there's a scene in here when Jillian and Sally get into a fight, or are about to get into a fight, but Kylie stops it, and Hoffman remarks that how sisters can, you know, make the most barbed remarks and cut you like no one else could. And it's because of how much you know each other, how well you know each other, and how you know in the end that that person will forgive you even if you've said the most horrible thing, whereas an outsider would not forgive you. There's so much that I've forgotten about this book. I forgot that Sally left home. I don't think that... I'm in the middle of a rewatch of the movie. I have not finished it. I don't watch TV as much, but I had forgotten that Sally left home. I forgot that they end up calling the aunts to Sally's home at the end, and for some reason I thought they still lived together in the movie. So the movie was to me more light and more fun than the book. The book is not light, it is fun. And it's just so deeply moving. All the characters are very well fleshed out. Yeah. Hands down, this is a win for me. If you like books about witches or family and sisters and love, all types of love, definitely pick this up. That is all for me. I'm a little bit speechless because I've got so many thoughts and feelings about this book. I was moved so much more this time than I was the first time. Although I was moved the first time I read it. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend this edition with the intro by the author. And if you've read it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Happy reading!